Welcome, everybody, to another exciting edition of Omnibros Live here on the Omnibus Collectors Network. It's media night here on the channel where we talk about movie news, TV, comic news, answer some questions from the chat, all that fun stuff. It's your boy Gio here, still petitioning for an Inhumans Omnibus. That's the game. And yeah, I'm not going to stop until I see that book on my shelf, even if we go into like 2024. It's going to happen. But regardless of that, I'm joined by the always awesome comics guy, Lou. How you doing, man?
What's up, brother?
Not much. It's an okay day, and I'm excited to talk about some news from last week, this week. It's all over the place. Hopefully, we can have some fun tonight with that. The chat's already popping. That's what I like to see. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
Yeah, it is. It is definitely. It's been kind of an all over the place week in general, especially with a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, Joe Goose Buzz, with his brand new YouTube channel. Everybody should check it out. Subscribe. Tasty Melon. We arrive precisely when we mean to. That's my response to that.
Damn straight.
William Lee, can't believe Catwoman is already out of stock. Was trying to push the 2% discount, so held off on purchase. That book went out fast, and I wasn't too worried because, and I didn't show it on the Monday show, but just wanted to upgrade for the omnibus, so he gifted me the trade paperbacks. So I'll show them off eventually. So I was covered because I had never read that stuff, and I really wanted to check it out. But I kind of didn't want to get the omnibus because I'm saving that spot for the Inhumans omnibus, guys. I'm no longer like a big Omni collector, but I'm happy that I have. I'm happy that I have the story, the Brubaker stuff in trade paperback.
Yeah.
Speaking of trades, comics, Catwoman, Omnis, all that fun stuff, you get it at InStockTrades.com, your home, your store, your destination for all things collected editions, whether it be a manga, Omni, trade paperbacks, all that fun stuff. You get it at InStock Trades. Daily deals, 50 to even more percentage off. If you order on a week by week basis, you get 2% off, which you can add to any book. For example, here we have the deals of this week. Obviously, the Catwoman is currently out of stock, but it'll be back. Batman: The Adventures Continue, Season 2. This is related to the Timverse, if I remember correctly. The Daredevil Brubaker Omni reprint with the new cover. It's finally out. So this 46% off, you can turn it into 48% off if you order week by week. That's awesome. $50 or more in your collected editions gets you free shipping. And of course, there you go. Fantastic customer service and wonderful packaging at InStockTrades.com, the official sponsor of Omnibros Live here on the Omnibus Collectors Network.
Sorry about that.
That was your version of the harp, of the mouth harp.
Yes, it was.
Love
yes,
it.
it was.
Hey,
my wife just said not good enough, so we'll have to try again.
you need to get the app that I played a couple months ago. You remember that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a freebie. You can get it from the App Store. I don't have my phone here with me, but if I did, I would play it. Thank you, everybody, for joining. We can't delay the Obi episode. Let's go. That's what I like to hear, Aku. Thank you. So a lot of stuff. I'm not going to talk right away for Star Wars because I believe I'm the only one here that has seen Episode 5. But I got some other news that we can start off with. This, I got to talk right away because this is a really cool conversation to have. They're doing a one. Let me try that again. Blah, 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 blah. They're trying to do a live-action One Punch Man movie. And the surprising thing about it is that they're doing it with Justin Lin, famous for the Fast and Furious franchise. What do you think of this?
Okay, so I think we know what happened with Justin Lin in the Fast and Furious movies, that Lin hired him apparently he said, "Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just leave. I'm not doing this movie. I'm not doing this franchise anymore. I'm out." I'm kind of surprised he landed at One Punch Man. Uh,
It's not it's not as difficult as other anime and manga properties, in my opinion. I think it's doable, maybe.
I think it's doable, and I'll tell you what. I think if anybody's the one to do it, I think it might actually be Justin Lin. To be honest with you,
I think he's got the chops for it because coming off a franchise that is so absurd
yeah,
and at this point sort of a parody of regular action movies and thrillers,
hmm
it kind of blends with One Punch Man because One Punch Man,
right.
yes, it's badass, it has wonderful art, but it's also kind of a satire on
hmm
hero tropes and American comics to an extent.
correct. And the thing that if you've seen Justin Lin's movies, which he arguably I think has the best Fast and Furious movies, I think he did what was it 4, 5, and I think 6, if I'm not
Let me
mistaken.
let me get the filmography here.
He was the one that brought the series back and got it back on track after Tokyo Drift.
Yeah. Okay, filmography. You got Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift, Fast and Furious, Fast 5, Fast and Furious 6, Fast, and Fast, oh, F9, F9. There we go.
Yeah, so he's arguably done the best ones in the series, and one of the was nine wasn't the last one, right? No, 10
9
was.
was the one you didn't like, the final one, the last one. Sorry.
Okay, and he's done one of the worst. He's done arguably the worst one in the series. So, but I think One Punch Man fits his sensibilities really well because if you're gonna go all out, which is something that you need for One Punch Man, where it's just bombastic, it's crazy, it's super huge, and it's loud and a lot of fun. This is one of the guys to do it.
Yeah. I found this quote from The Verge pretty funny, which was why I wanted to talk about this tonight.
Oh, jeez.
Anime fans have been burned by live action adaptations in the past. Oh boy, have we.
Have we ever gotten a Western? I say Western because I have heard that the Rurouni Kenshin live action movies are not bad.
I
Have
actually
we?
have those on Blu-ray and they're really good. I
Okay,
would recommend them.
okay. That's why I said, have we ever gotten a Western anime adaptation to live action movie that is good? Have they ever done that?
Uh, Not to my knowledge. It's mostly been pretty bad. I'm trying to look for a definitive list here that I can name because I know I'm going to forget some stuff. Live action movies based on manga and anime. Let's see
Mm,
this list. Um, we got Alita Battle Angel, which
that was
I
good.
thought was just okay.
That was good.
It was action packed and it looked beautiful, aside from the anime eyes.
Mm,
But it was just okay. I think this was one of the better ones. Obviously, in Japan, they adapt a lot of anime and manga, so that's I'm not counting that because that's a whole different ballgame. We're going with Hollywood stuff. Um, we had the Dragon Ball movie, which everybody hates. Death Note, the Netflix adaptation, which again everybody hates. Let's see what else I can find here.
how do you
Ghost in the Shell, which again almost everybody hated.
how do you fuck up the Death Note when you had William Defoe as Ryuk?
That was gold.
Yeah.
Please don't name them off. I'm trying to forget. Sorry, William. Sorry.
Which,
Um,
if you're gonna cast anybody to voice that character, it's William Defoe, and the character looks good. He looks
yeah,
good.
that was the only good thing about that movie for me. Here's a good one. Edge of Tomorrow. I think that's one of the best manga adaptations or
I
whatever.
forgot. I forgot that counts.
Yep, that is based off the one-shot manga. To live, to kill, to whatever the name of it is.
Yeah.
Is all you need is kill. That's the name. So that's a good one. They did a couple Guyver movies back in the 90s.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Guyver. Let's see what else. I'm just going to share the list. because it's no fun if you're just looking at me reading stuff.
Mm.
Um, yeah, as you can see here, a lot
Ooh.
of it is productions, Japanese productions, and Korean productions as well.
Mhm.
So this technically kind of doesn't count because I know like one of the Gantz movies is actually pretty good.
Mhm.
Um, the I Am a Hero stuff, I don't. It has a good rating, but I haven't seen it. The JoJo's Bizarre Adventure movie was atrocious. I hated it. Kaiji, I've heard good things about. Lady Snowblood is a classic. I do
Mhm.
have the manga for that as well. Old Boy, but that's not a North American production. Let's see what else they have here.
Old Boy was a. Oh yeah, Old Boy
Oh
was a.
well, we did get the remake
No, we
for it,
didn't.
which was horrendous.
No.
Here's Rurouni Kenshin, but that's from Japan. Don't support the manga because the author does not deserve any of that. But
Yeah.
at least watch the movies. I thought they were really good.
Yeah. That's such a shame.
Speed Racer, which we talked about like 2 weeks ago, I think, or 3 weeks ago. That's an okay one, I think. Captain Harlock, that's a CG movie. Uzumaki, that's from Junji Ito. That's not that great. Yeah, so we don't actually have a lot of Hollywood produced anime inspired movies. Is Fist of the North Star, the 1995 movie, is that North American based?
Good question.
Let me check. Fist of the North Star. Oh, this is by director Tony Randell, if I'm saying that correctly, and he is American, so I'm going to count it just for the hell of it. But I know it's not that great. What else? Let's go back to the first page here. Previous. Assassination Classroom, Attack on Titan, all of this does not count in my eyes. Blade of the Immortal. Blood the Last Vampire was a good one. I like that one.
Mhm.
But the thing is, when Japan, when they try and adapt these properties into live action, it usually comes off a little bit cheap or cheesy because the budget isn't really there. And you can't really capture the magic of the original story that well when
Right.
it comes to manga adaptations. So whenever I talk about live action anime, I always think going back to One Punch Man. If I can get the article back, there we go. The easier the manga story, the better you're gonna have of an adaptation. And by that I mean, like if you choose, like Ghost in the Shell should have been easy
Right.
because it's based off of real life things, just like in the near future. You just gotta suspend your disbelief by adding cybernetics and that whole thing and robots. But to have stuff like One Punch Man, which you know it can be done because of the superhero movies. I mean, if you did friggin' Avengers Endgame, you can adapt any comic or manga, I guess. So, how about the Power Ranger movies? Well, they're Super Sentai
Yeah.
shows, and Super Sentai is based off manga as well. When Kamen Rider and the Go Go Ranger thingamajig. So I guess they kind of maybe count. I don't know.
Do you think it might be just us Westerners trying to copy the sensibilities that are used in manga and the style that's used in manga, and some of it does not directly translate well? For example, okay, so for example, we're getting the One Piece show, right? And I showed you that clip of the
Oh yeah,
sets
yeah,
that they put out.
yeah.
The sets look fucking great. Like
Hmm.
all that stuff looks really good. But for me, One Piece works so well because of Oda's style, more animated and
Yeah.
more in the manga format. I'm kind of concerned and worried how they're going to translate that.
Yeah, definitely. One Piece is going to be super difficult because it is so stylized and cartoony,
Hmm.
and they're gonna. I cannot wait to see how the hell that's going to look,
Yeah.
because you got the merman fish people, and you got people with crazy powers and abilities, and just the overall aesthetic, like you mentioned. Um, I I hope they do a good job and people like it and they get more episodes. I'm not necessarily crying. I read the Crying Freeman comment. Jesus, I'm not necessarily clamoring for an adaptation because I have the original. I have the manga.
Yeah.
I don't know. Not everything needs to be adapted, I think,
Yeah.
and it's such
Yeah.
a unique niche of the comic world and graphic novel in the case of manga, and you can do a lot of stuff that you can't pull off in live action. It doesn't translate as well. So I don't know.
Right. Right. I mean, especially something. I think. I mean, I would imagine what they're probably going to do with One Piece is that they're going to drip feed us more of the weird stuff later on in the
Yeah,
season. Because the first few chapters of One Piece, with the exception of Luffy's powers, are pretty grounded. You know, you've just got him against a few pirates and stuff like that.
yeah. Also, keep in mind if a certain Miss Marvel's character had the stretchy powers, it wouldn't be as far fetched. If
Yeah.
we see Luffy stretching his arms, we'd be like, "Oh yeah, sure, he can do that. That's cool." Uh, but that's just weird. I don't know how they're gonna pull it off with a TV budget to have the stretchy powers and Zoro with the three swords doing all the crazy spins. And
Mm.
what are you gonna do when you introduce Chopper? You're gonna have a CG reindeer walking around. That's gonna be pricier than freaking Baby Yoda
No,
in your movie.
they're going to use a regular guy and call him Chopper. Which
Hey, I'm Chopper, and it's just a dude right there sitting there next to him.
Which, if you ever want to see a fandom rage, do that. See how that goes for you,
I
Netflix.
I'd love that actually. Don't forget about, yes, thank you, James. I forgot about that. They are doing a Yu Yu Hakusho live action adaptation for Netflix. That I don't that's easier to pull off, because if you go back to Yu Yu Hakusho, yeah, there are demons and monsters and all that stuff, but the main characters are all human, and even the ones that aren't technically human, they're still humanoid in appearance. And when they go to the demon realm and the underworld and all that stuff, you can CGI all that stuff. I don't think it's going to be a hard sell for them. I think it'll do okay in the pre-production to get started on filming.
Right. I think. Look, if you're gonna adapt a manga to a live action version or anything like that, I think the easy route to go would be a sports one. You know, something like Slam Dunk, like something like that.
Oh, definitely. The sports genre, you can adapt anything. Even if you do insane over the top moves, it's still going to translate well, because you can rationalize it as like from the perspective of the player doing off like insane dunks or whatever. It's not too far fetched.
Right.
I'm looking here for other adaptations. There is Alice in Borderland that's coming out. We already had season one. Season two got announced. Yu Yu Hakusho. Supposedly, Saint Seiya is getting an adaptation, Knights of the Zodiac.
Mm-hmm.
And One Punch Man. Do you remember when they announced Helsing like ages ago?
Oh my! Wait, a Helsing live action show?
They announced Helsing. They were going to do a movie, then they got canned, and now like maybe like 3 years ago, they announced that the screenwriter behind what was it, John Wick, is handling an adaptation for Amazon on Helsing.
Well, Helsing's not that difficult to do. I mean, there's not, if you stay
No,
true to the source material, it's just a guy named Alucard killing a bunch of monsters, and you really can't kill him.
that goes to what I was saying earlier, that it depends on the realism of the manga. Like One Piece is super hard, or maybe if you do like an actual Dragon Ball, like tiny kid Goku with so many dinosaurs and crazy stuff, I don't think it translate. It should translate well.
Right.
But when you have stuff like Tasty Melling is suggesting Monster from Naoki Urasawa, that's super grounded in reality because that's just about a freaking serial killer and trying to catch him. And you do any like Shuzo Shimi works. He does a lot of psychological stuff. Or what's the other guy that I'm thinking of? Inyo Asano, for example. A lot of those stories are grounded in reality, and you could easily pull them off in live action. Certain manga and anime are exceptions, like One Punch Man, that I do think can be done if there's a certain cheese element to it, but it doesn't go too over the top with it. If it recognizes itself and what it's doing as a comedy, action comedy, and a parody of the genre and superheroes, I think you could have a hit.
Yeah, I think the way to handle One Punch Man would be you have to make it self-aware because the series itself is pretty self-aware of how kind of over the top, crazy, and a little bit dumb it is, but it's fun. It's fun that way.
Yeah.
If you go the route where you go super serious with it, you're gonna fuck it up. You just are.
Other stuff that Justin Lin worked on, and as an executive producer, Space Jam: A New Legacy, which is not great. He is still credited as producer for Fast X and the final Fast and Furious movie. And TV wise, he worked on Community, True Detective, SWAT, Magnum PI. So yeah, a little bit all over the place when it comes to his filmography. But I'm not like a lot of people were like, "Oh, this is atrocious. That's gonna suck." I'm like, yeah, but maybe we should give it a shot. Who knows? We might be surprised. It could be a dark horse, and they finally get it right. Watch us like 2 years from now when it's finally out and it sucks, and everybody cites this video like you said it was good. Like I don't know. I'm being optimistic, guys.
So I'm so behind on this stuff, but is One Punch Man still
Published?
going? Yeah.
Yeah, the manga's still ongoing, and the anime does not have a ongoing season right now. I've only read like 1 or 2 volumes. I apologize. I'm not up to date with One Punch Man, but I do like the anime for it. Monster adaptation would be easy. Yes. Currently reading Monster right now. Just finished book 1, A+. Dude, you are in for a treat. It gets better as it goes. You're gonna love it. It's gonna be A+ all the way to the final volume. What anime would you like to see a live action movie for? For me, it's Blue Gender. Really? Blue Gender? I haven't heard that in ages. Wow. Have you seen Blue Gender?
No, I haven't seen it.
That's like the Starship Trooper type anime where they fight like giant alien creatures on Earth, giant bugs. It's pretty gruesome, pretty cool.
I haven't seen it. I think most of Urasawa stuff could be translated pretty well.
Freaking Asadora, do that. That'd be great. Period piece in the 60s or 50s or whatever. Kaiju stuff. Young girl protagonist.
Yeah.
That should be good.
Yeah, I'm ordering the first 3 volumes of that this weekend. I have to read it. I love Urasawa's work. It's a must.
You are going to love it. I have an issue where when somebody asks me, especially on YouTube, and I shouldn't, but I'm human, guys. When somebody goes, "What's your favorite thing?" I'm like, I don't know, and I black out. So I'm looking at my anime list to get an idea of what I like, so that I can suggest stuff for live action adaptations. I'm looking at my list here, and immediately I think something like, let's see. I would like to see them take another spin at Ghost in the Shell. I think that'd be cool. One series that I do want to see in live action, which is going to be an unpopular choice, is Durarara. I think it could be really cool because you get the streets of is it Shibuya that the characters are based in? I don't know. One of the famous cities in Tokyo or whatever in Japan. Durarara has that flair of like it's urban. It has a lot of personality with the cast and enough hidden folklore that starts seeping through. Like there's a paranoia and a gossip to the stuff that's happening in that manga and anime. I think it'd be pretty cool, especially with the Doulahan or
You
however
know,
you pronounce it.
you know what I'm kind of surprised we still haven't seen yet is any of Genshu Ito's work in live action.
Ito has they've made Uzumaki, which was not great.
Yeah,
It looks funky. It looks pretty cool, but it's not a great adaptation.
yeah.
You know, they adapted Gyo into an OVA anime. You have the famous scene of the shark attacking the apartment building. Um, there was another one. Shoot, what was it? Tomie, I think, has something in live action, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
And he did have the anime story collection, which was awful, and I don't recommend anybody check that out.
Hmm.
But a new material based on Ito books, I think that'd be cool. I agree.
Yeah, I would love to see somebody, and for the love of God, keep it away from, studios like big studios. Keep it low budget. Somebody
Yeah.
like Ari Aster under A24, who Aster has done Hereditary and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I think that would be fucking amazing if you get somebody like that to work on stuff.
hmm Ooh, Witch Hunter Robin. Do you remember that show from back in the day?
Vaguely,
Toonami Adult Swim.
vaguely.
That'd be fun. It'd be super edgy though, because they were super late '90s, early odds, punkish goth kids running around killing witches.
20th Century Boys would be a great series.
That had 3 live action movies in Japan, yes,
Yeah.
but you could do it again.
You could do a Netflix series, a Netflix or an Amazon Prime series or something like that. Because the story is so big and so grand in scope, you'll probably get 3 seasons out of that.
Yeah. Jiro Taniguchi, yes. I'm not an expert. I haven't read all of Taniguchi, just a handful of stuff, but I agree. Witch Hunter Robin. If we're doing Witch Hunter Robin, guys, let's do Ergo Proxy, because that's one of my favorites from back in the day. What was the other one that he did? Or sorry, what was the other series from the early odds that I wanted to mention here? We have Witch Hunter Robin, Ergo Proxy, Wolf's Rain. I think it would be pretty cool. Then again, you have to invest in CGI to do the 4 wolves. You can't find Witch Hunter Robin anymore. I don't think it ever got a Blu-ray release, but it did have the DVD, which are probably long out of print. Hunter Robin. Oh, I wrote with. Yeah, there's no Blu-ray for that, but you get the complete series, which is selling for like 30 or $40, but it's DVD. If you're a Blu-ray snob and don't want to go back to the DVD days.
But I'm glad we have all the stuff we have now in terms of streaming and accessibility and all the stuff that we have, but there was something special about the tape hunting.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Sakamoto Days with Jackie Chan. Why not? Sure.
You just can't be going to that shady store in the mall, paying $50 for about 3 episodes worth of anime. And
Hell yeah.
sometimes it wasn't dubbed and they didn't have the subtitles on it.
Damn. Aku, if you want to get Witch Hunter Robin, it's on Amazon for like $30. The complete series on DVD. It's a DVD, but by the way, I've always said like, yes, there is a notable difference between the DVD and the anime and the Blu-ray, but like it's not that big of a stretch. It's not like you're remastering a freaking you know, older movie and now in 4K it looks amazing. Because the drawings are going to stand the test of time, in my opinion. That's just my take, my hot take. I have a couple of anime that I've never upgraded to Blu-ray because I'm like, I need to double dip on this.
Some of them, unfortunately, have never made the transition to Blu-ray. Trigun.
Trigun. That'd be a fun one to adapt live action.
Could you do it?
I think it could be done.
You think so?
Yeah.
It's a
I
Western.
mean, it has a lot of far-fetched elements to it in a good way, but Trinity Blood. I need to go back and revisit Trinity Blood. I saw that when it came out, and that's it. And I do remember the author, the original creator, passed away, and they finished the series with the notes that he left behind, or something like that. I might be mistaken, but I remember it was a weird ending to Trinity Blood.
Man, dude, I remember watching the episode where the Wolfwood. It's been so long since I've watched Trigun. He carries the cross. Wolfwood, is that what it is?
Nicholas D. Wolfwood. Yeah.
Wolfwood, yeah. Well, where he ends up biting it. I was like, no. And then Vash versus Knives, the final fight where you finally see the two brothers go at it against each other, and Vash pulls out Wolfwood's gun and he finishes Knives with it. Oh, that was so good.
I think everybody should, if you can, read the manga because it continues, obviously, the Trigon Maximum stuff. But that show is just classic, and it's a shame that we still don't have it on Blu-ray.
Does it keep going from that moment after they finish their fight?
It's a different. I haven't read the Maximum stuff, but it is different. That final fight plays out a little bit different. I might be mistaken on that, but I do know it continues afterwards.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So live action anime, it depends on the property. Something like Psychopaths, for example, or the cyberpunk genre in anime. I want to see that succeed because it's awesome, and I think it makes for great live action cinema.
Yeah.
Certain comedies, for example, like Grand Blue Dreaming. What else? I like stuff like that where it's again grounded on realism. I think you can do it. Another show that I would like to see adapted to close off the topic for tonight. The Satoshi Kon movies. I know they're really difficult because he was a master at his craft, and there will never be anybody like Satoshi Kon, especially with his transition work and metaphors and the super dark characters. But something like Millennium Actress, for example, I could easily see that as a live action movie. Not that it needs to, because I think it's perfect as an animated movie, but something like that could be fun. You had like, what was the freaking movie that paid homage to Satoshi Kon? Was it Black Swan? I think it was Black Swan.
Yes, I believe, because we've discussed this before, probably a few weeks ago. You told me to watch. It's on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
You said that there's like a movie about a skater or a ballerina that.
Oh, Perfect Blue is about a Japanese idol.
Yes.
And she has to deal with a stalker, a fan that's a stalker, and it gets deadly and creepy. And yeah, it's probably Black Swan that adapts certain shots from the movie. And the overall, you could say the plot borrows a little bit from it. But there was another movie. I don't know. I can't remember. Let's see.
Yeah, my wife and I, we finished watching Black Swan again about a month ago. The movie's still great. Holds up really well.
You know the shot in the bathtub where it's from the ceiling, and she's hunched over, hugging her knees in the bathtub?
Yes.
And you just see her naked back?
Yeah.
That shot comes from Perfect Blue.
Oh, wow.
Which was really cool. When I saw Black Swan, I'm like, I've seen this shot before. Wait a minute. And the director said it was inspired by Satoshi Kon.
Okay. Yeah.
A Lull in the Sea. I know about it, but I haven't seen it. Sorry, James. But if you say it's good, it's good. I believe you.
Yeah, it's always interesting seeing directors when you could pinpoint where directors take their stuff from, and it's pretty blatantly obvious where a lot of them take their content and their material and certain shots from and things like that.
Yeah.
We've seen it with the Duffer Brothers and Stranger Things, where it's almost shot for shot certain things that they've taken from Spielberg, from Carpenter, and for things like that.
Hmm.
um, Tarantino. Tarantino is a noticeable thief. But the thing is, when Tarantino steals something, he usually gives you something better in return. So that's why nobody ever calls him out on his shit.
Yeah.
Uh, but I,
Um,
I am super looking forward to watching Perfect Blue. Is it? I still have it on my queue. I just have
yeah.
not sat down with it after your recommendation, especially because I love Aronofsky's work. I think Aronofsky's really talented. He's fallen off in the last few years for me. I don't think he's ever topped The Wrestler. I think The Wrestler is brilliant.
That's a
And
good movie. Yeah.
the ending with Mickey Rourke jumping off of the top rope, just, oh, amazing stuff. Um, so I'm looking forward to sitting down with Perfect Blue now that I have the summer off. Actually, probably going to sit down with it tomorrow.
Nice. It's a dark movie, so
Mm,
get ready.
yeah.
Because you think on the surface, like, man, this is pretty cool. It's like a thriller, but it goes places. It's a little bit dark. The found the two shows that I'm going to recommend that I think would be pretty, or three shows. The first one I think would be a cool live action property, Black Lagoon. I think that has the sensibility to kick ass
Yeah.
because it's modern pirates in the like the Singapore, Thailand area. Um, I think like Madripoor, if it existed in real life, and you have modern pirates, and Revi, she leads her gang as they hunt down treasure and steal from bad guys, and they fight off neo Nazis and a whole bunch of stuff that happens, and a lot of gunfighting and smoking and drinking. And I think that would look amazing in live action. The other one here on my list on shows I've watched, I think freaking Death Parade would be a really cool live action. Have you heard of Death Parade before?
No, have not.
That is, it started off as an OVA, and then it got picked up for a full show, like a 12 episode show. And it's essentially about this bar that when you die, when you pass away, you arrive at this bar, which could be interpreted as limbo. And the staff there greets you, and you play a series of games for risking your life on these games, and the outcome determines whether you go to heaven or hell at the end.
Huh. Okay.
And the twist is, there's a lot of twists. The main protagonist isn't what he seems at first, and he doesn't really know much about like the human condition, if you will. And
Okay.
he's accompanied by an assistant that is actually human herself. She's not supposed to be in that position, but they allow it. So you see the dynamic between the two, and just the setting of that really jazzy lounge bar,
Mm.
and all the episodes are different stories of people. And like for example, one of the episodes they're playing friggin' billiards, and the loser gets a penalty and the winner gets another thing, and it's really good. It combines elements of like the what do you call the type of shows like Squid Game and Alice in Borderland, the death survival shows.
Yeah,
it,
yeah, I know what you're talking about. Where
that
you've got, yeah,
it has that element to it, but it goes places. You're gonna feel some emotions, and if you don't cry by the end of any of the episodes, you are soulless. Because I was in tears in a couple episodes. They really got to me, and it really makes you reflect on life and your own mortality. But again, just the concept alone, I highly recommend it. And I think stuff like that, it's a little bombastic, but I think could work as a live action. So it's not out of the realm of possibility to have Saitama, One Punch Man, in live action, especially post Endgame cinema, I guess.
Well, I think for me, what was so crazy for me when the Squid Games phenomenon hit was, like,
Yeah.
you guys know that there's been 30 or 40 different spins on this same concept
Yeah.
before, right?
Yeah.
It's not a new concept, but I think what it is that it just hit at the right time. And sometimes that's really all you need, is just you need it to hit at the right time, and it'll find its audience and it'll catch like wildfire. But we've
Hmm.
had stuff like Squid Games before. Battle Royale was doing kind of the same concept 20 or 30 years ago.
Yeah. That's a good
You
movie.
know?
Yep.
Battle Royale was a manga first, wasn't it?
I think it was a book, a novel, and then it got adapted into a manga and a live action movie. I think it was a
Okay.
book first,
Okay.
but still, there's a manga for it, so it counts.
Yeah. So the thing with Squid Games, don't get me wrong, I love Squid Games. I thought it was really fun. I can't wait for season 2. Um, I'm like, guys, this is literally a genre. There are tons of movies and shows and stuff like that
Yeah.
have done this stuff, and it's pretty crazy to me that it didn't catch on until then.
Battle Royale is based off, because I want to get this right. I don't want to get people like, actually. Battle Royale is the first novel by Koshun Takami in 1996. So yeah, it was a novel, then a movie and manga.
By the way, guys, if you've not seen Battle Royale, please go watch Battle Royale.
You need to
It's
see it. Yeah.
yeah.
I have the. It's not the best version of the or the best transfer, but I have the. It has the collection of the all the Battle Royale stuff, the director's cut, the original, and the sequel, and all that in like a 4 disc set or whatever. Because I wanted to get the Arrow one, but it's out of print, and I'm like, I don't need so much Battle Royale. It's like a freaking enormous box set of like 5 different Blu-ray discs and the 4K. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I just want to watch the movie. We're now getting a Squid Game reality show. I'm sorry, but that's the dumbest thing. I don't. Oh my god.
What is it? They're bringing 435 people in or something
Yeah,
like that for a chance at winning the
I think it's
largest,
the big. Yeah, exactly.
yeah, the
Biggest cash
largest
free
cash
prize.
prize. 4
I would
points.
participate just for the hell of it.
I would, yeah. Why not?
I'd get knocked out in the first round, but like, sure, I'd give it a go.
Yeah,
If you have,
they're gonna do some variation on the Red Rover or Red Light Green Light thing. They're gonna have to do something like that.
yeah, if you have to pick the best anime manga to live action adaptation, what do you choose? The best one out of everything that's out so far, or that we would like to see? Because that's kind of what we did now. So I assume you meant stuff that's already out so far. If you ignore the controversy behind Scarlett Johansson and the Ghost in the Shell stuff,
Mm-hmm.
at least the look of the film and the robotic things that they did with the props and like the cyborgs and androids and whatever,
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty solid. I'm a huge Ghost in the Shell fan, and I know it was stupid to cast Scarlett Johansson in the role of Motoko Kusanagi, but the overall aesthetic and world, I really enjoyed, and I don't mind watching the movie because of that. That said,
I remember the shitstorm that film got when people
oh my
found
god,
out the ending of it. It's like, oh man, you
yep,
guys really fucked up on that ending.
oh my god, Ninja Scroll. That is one of the best movies of all time. Not just anime, one of the best movies of all time. I will say though, I watched it with older people that I should not have watched it with because there are a couple scenes there that like, oh boy, awkward. If you know, you know. Currently watching Demon Slayer season 2. Nice.
Nice
The
stuff.
movie just got announced on Blu-ray. Not the movie, sorry. The Mugen Train TV recut is getting a Blu-ray release, which is
Yeah.
dumb, but it's happening.
Uh,
So yeah, another show that this last show, because this is turned into an anime movie episode. Darker Than Black. Do you know about that one?
mm-mm.
I when it first came out, I remember saying, "Oh, this is like anime X Men." It's in the near future, and in Tokyo, a huge gate appears, and at the same time, there are a lot of psychics that start developing like superpowers, and they all have to pay a price to use the powers. But it's a very heavy noir inspired show that I do think would translate well as a show or a movie.
Mm.
Um, yeah, so that's kind of my picks. I don't know. Just go for the easier stuff to adapt. Don't like, for example, something completely random. Onegai Teacher, one of my all-time favorite rom-coms. It's about this kid that has a weird made-up disease in this for the plot, where he stagnates and he goes into like a coma and his body just freezes up. So he's stagnated and he should be in college, but he's still in high school. And this teacher arrives, and she's an alien. And it's a rom com. They fall into like hijinks, and the two end up together, and they have to pose like they're married supposedly, and a bunch of crazy stuff happens. That, even though it's an anime and manga and has a lot of tropish things, you could easily adapt that and make it a fun sciency sci-fi rom-com.
Hmm.
You just got to pick stuff that isn't too out there.
Yeah.
Like, for example, Sergeant Frog, to pick out a random manga. You would never see a Sergeant Frog live action movie in Hollywood, but something like the stuff that we've mentioned, I could see it.
Yeah. 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 I mean, I think it can be done. I think it will be done. It's just a matter of when it's going to happen and what is going to happen. And maybe it's just because it's my fucked up mind, but I would love to see a Promise Neverland live action series, just because I
That,
know
yeah,
people would lose their shit after the first episode in that series, because that is,
yeah, yeah,
for me, I mean, me personally, you read a lot more manga than I do, you watch a lot more anime than I do. That is one of the biggest rug pulls that I have ever read in an anime or manga or
yeah.
anything like that. When you get to, I think it's the end of the first volume or the end of the first chapter, I'm not necessarily sure, and you find out what exactly is really going on with the kids and everything, and all these kids are happy and they seem happy. And, oh,
Yeah.
oh my
Yeah.
God.
It's like Battle Royale on steroids, if you
Yeah.
think about it. Just don't follow the anime for Promise Neverland, guys. If you want to check that series out, maybe watch the first season and then switch over to the manga because the second one was just atrocious. It was
Ah, don't
garbage.
say that. Don't
It
say
was
that. Really?
pure garbage.
What happened?
Everything. It was super rushed. Nobody wanted to take credit for it, so they were just writing it as quickly as possible. They skipped chapters. They literally went for like, imagine if you're doing an adaptation and you go from volume 4 and then you jump to like volume 12 and
Oh,
you introduce new concepts and new. It was just a mess. And by the end of it, everybody just wanted it to end. It was really bad.
no. Did have you read the whole series? Because I haven't.
No, but I do know what happens.
Stick the
And I do
landing?
know the secrets of the manga.
Stick the landing? From what it sounds like?
I think so with the original manga. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
just don't watch the show. It was bad. Maybe watch the first season, which I loved, but everything from the second episode of the second season downward is just it's just a train wreck.
Yeah.
Please, I do not support watching that show.
And if you're listening to this and you're thinking, oh man, I just want to know what the huge reveal that he's talking about is, don't do that to yourself. You really
No,
do owe it to yourself to find
yeah,
out what's going on by yourself.
yeah, it's a lot of fun. Geo, not moving train. You're watching the Entertainment District season. Yeah, nice. The Mugen Train movie, you already watched it. The TV arc, I don't know why they made that, and they're releasing it. Aniplex is asking like $80 for 7 episodes. It's insane.
That's tough.
Um, did you hear? Actually, going to talk about that. Did you hear that the Lord of the Rings, the War of the Rohirrim movie of WB will be released theatrically and it's anime style?
Hmm.
Yes, and I do have here some news of that. Shoot, one of the there's an actor that was already signed for this, and I can't remember who it was.
It's not
I don't know
Ezra
if you
Miller.
know. No. No. Good lord. The upcoming Lord of the Rings War of the Rohirrim anime now official. Who's making this? Is this really an anime?
Oh my
Because I
god.
hate when Netflix does this. Like the Castlevania anime. I'm like, it's not an anime, guys. It's
No,
inspired and looks like an anime, but it technically isn't because it's drawn in Texas. Um, wait. Brian Cox is one of the lead. He's playing Helm Hammerhand. He was the old king of Rohan when they fought at Helm's Deep. So
well,
that's the plot of the movie.
I mean, you got me there. It's Brian Cox. I mean,
Yep.
you,
Yeah.
you don't need much more else. I'm there with bells on day one. Guy's awesome.
And Miranda Otto, you might remember she was Eowyn. She's
Mm.
going to be Eowyn narrating the story for the
Cool.
audience.
Cool. Sounds awesome.
This is New Line Cinema, Warner Brothers Animation. Oh, Sola Entertainment. Yeah, Sola
Mm.
Entertainment made Tower of God, God of High School, Shenmue the animation, and Ninja Kamui. It's okay. Cool. So
Yeah.
yeah, it is an anime.
Okay. No.
Geo, is there a continuation of Deathman Wonderland? Not that I'm aware of. I don't think so. That'd be a fun one. That's another battle royale survival series.
You, I'm kind of I'm genuinely surprised. No, and maybe it's because the man has probably a tight rein on what he puts out, but I'm really genuinely surprised nobody's attempted to make a live action Spirited Away or Howl's Moving Castle or anything like that.
For some strange reason, something went the window. Yeah, I agree. But Studio Ghibli movies have that unique charm to it, like
Yeah,
Walt Disney films. Before Walt Disney Productions decided to adapt everything into live action.
yeah. I just somebody I don't know, like a Del Toro or something like that. That they clearly have a love for because he's referenced it before in
Yeah,
talks and stuff like that. He clearly has a love for the Ghibli stuff. I'm kind of surprised he's never taken a swing at maybe doing a Totoro movie or something like that.
yeah. Oh my God, that I don't think that could work. I think people would go insane when that gets announced. It's getting a stage adaptation in London, and
Mhm.
people were crapping all over it. And it's not even made. It's like pre-production. But Totoro is too big of a not literally, but too big of a character to successfully adapt into live action, especially Hollywood. I don't think it'd be a good idea.
So maybe start with something else like Spirited Away or Howl's Moving Castle or
The Wind Rises, which is a story about the dude that made the airplanes in World War II in
Mm,
Japan or whatever. I think that'd be a good, easy story to make.
mm.
Whisper of the Heart. I think so, but I don't know if it's a Hollywood production. Real quick, got a couple more news items here before we sign off because
Mm.
we're close to the hour. We got three more topics for you guys. Shout out to Screen Rant because I'm going to use them as a backdrop. We're getting the spot in
Mm.
Into the Spider Verse movie. What do you think of that?
Um,
And here's the first look at the spot.
yeah, no, I think that's great stuff. The thing is with Miles doesn't really have his own villains.
Nope.
He takes
Uh,
villains from other, which is kind of I don't know if a writer just hasn't been able to come up with anything for him or anything like that, but he doesn't have his own. Green Goblin or anybody like that, he borrows from other heroes and stuff like that. So, but I'm down to see the Spot. The Spot could be a really fucking great villain if you know how to write him well. Mark Waid proved that when he did his Daredevil run. So, I think it was cool.
The Spot is voiced by somebody famous, and I can't remember. Sony has revealed that the character named Spot. I can't. Jason Schwartzman is going to voice the Spot. I think it'd be cool. Yeah, like you said. Unfortunately, Miles does not have a good rogues gallery.
Yeah.
I think his best villain was Venom in the Ultimate Universe. If you know the history behind that, I thought that was his best story arc. He fought off Mac Gargan or Maximus Gargan in the Ultimate Universe. He was a Mexican mob boss, Kingpin. And what was it? He fought off Ultimate Green Goblin, which was more like a Hulkish figure. But then again, that was also Peter Parker's enemy in the Ultimate comics. And ever since he jumped to the 616 universe, it's been like Spider-Man has his A-list villains and the D-list and F-list. Here you go, Miles. Go play with them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing about Marvel is that I just don't think that they do legacy characters well. Versus DC, where there's a very clear distinction of, all right, we're handing the baton down to you. You're your own hero now. They did it with Barry to Wally, Hal to Guy, the list goes on. You could literally go down. Most recently, Superman did it with his son, where his son is now the Superman. So,
just wait before the end of the year. Sony will announce a live-action Spot movie with more Puerto Rican rappers.
Stop. No, we don't need that anymore. We're good.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to it whenever that movie comes out next year. The Spot. It's pretty interesting.
I have to
not my choice for a Spider-Man movie villain.
I have to imagine Bad Bunny literally walked up to the office and said, "Give me a hero," and they just, what do we fucking got?
El Muerto, a Mexican wrestler played by a Puerto Rican rapper. Yeah, because we have zero Mexican wrestling expertise over here.
With two appearances in comics, great job.
Count them, just 2 issues. So that's that, and 2 more items. I know you're a big fan. If you wanted to talk about the Castlevania stuff,
yep,
because I put it in the thumbnail because of you. What is the new story about, or the new season?
I have not seen this. What are you talking about?
Castlevania. You shared the trailer on our chat.
The
new season of the animated show
that they're bringing it back. Yeah,
Castlevania Nocturne.
So apparently they're coming back with another series of Castlevania, which I completely thought this was done. I thought this was completely and totally done. The thing that it's not Ellis. Ellis isn't writing.
Yeah. You think that's going to be a hindrance for the show?
It's hard to tell. Well, the animation's going to look good. We know that.
Announced on Geek Week last week, the show will star Richter Belmont, a descendant of the original show's Trevor and what's her name? The girl?
Sifa?
Sifa, is that how you say it? Okay.
I believe so, yeah.
Her, whatever. He'll be joined by Maria Renard, another character from the original games. It will be set during the events of the French Revolution. Although you can likely expect a lot more monsters than the history book, blah, blah, blah. The show is in production now, but no release date was announced. A teaser is all we've seen so far. Can I play this? Don't ding us, YouTube. I'm gonna play it while we talk. Yeah. So this is season 5, right?
Yes.
Okay. And there's a lot of material because there are dozens of Castlevania games.
Oh, they have so much stuff that they could pull from. My concern is once again that Ellis isn't writing this. Ellis was the writer for all the series that came before this. But unfortunately, due to certain accusations, and he's come out and admitted certain things, they kicked him off the project, which really sucks. So I'm excited to see how this turns out. I'm cautiously optimistic. We're gonna really see how much of an influence Ellis had on this series.
Yep.
Without him, and see where this goes. I hope that.
Yeah.
Pardon me.
Sorry.
Part of me hopes that they will continue the one writer kind of thing where it's a singular vision for the project, because I think that worked so well in the past. I just don't know who's going to be writing this.
I can look that up. I think there are credits around. Aku says Rondo of Blood and Symphony of the Night inspired. That's great. More Symphony of the Night, please. Rondo. Castlevania Nocturne is Castlevania Rondo. All right, let me see if I can find some IMDb credits. IMDb. The new show, Castlevania Vampires, series of bones. No, there's no writing staff announced yet. The series is led by showrunner Kevin Coldy and creator-writer Clive Bradley, and produced by Project 5 Productions. This is a tongue twister. Produced by Project 5 Productions with the production services provided by Powerhouse Animation. Okay, so Production 51 Productions is, or Project 51. Jesus Christ, it's late. I'm tired.
Yeah.
What the hell have they done? Castlevania, okay. Aside from Castlevania. Good for them. Okay. I don't think I'm up to date with Castlevania. I think I watched season 1. I watched season 2. I don't remember if I finished season 3. Let me think, because I wasn't. I jokingly said on the show that I wasn't a fan of the voice actors.
Season 2 has Peter Stormare. That's all I gotta say. I fucking love Peter Stormare and anything.
No, I remember him. Yeah, he was great.
He's always good, man.
Castlevania. But I just didn't like the main cast. That's just me. I'm probably in the minority. I accept the hate out of that. Let's see. Season 3. What the hell happened in season 3? I think I did finish it. So season 4 is the one I haven't seen. Okay. Was that good? Did they finish off?
It's all good. Yeah, dude. It's all great stuff. Honestly, it is. People always say, "What is a great video game to movie or TV show adaptation?" It's this. They 100% nail the characters. They nail everything about it. It's fun as hell, and it's so beautifully animated that it's such a great ride all the way through.
Nice.
I'm
gonna watch it someday.
I remember Gabe and I were really pissed because season 1 was only like 6 episodes. And we blasted through it and we're like, what the fuck? This is so good.
Castlevania, who would have thunk?
Yeah.
Out of all the video games.
Yeah.
It's easier to adapt video games into animation than live action. That's for sure.
Yeah. Because I think a lot of people, they get hung up on, well, we have to have these references, and it's a video game, so we have to kind of keep certain elements from the video game. No, just keep the core stuff from the story and move it there. They've been trying to get a BioShock movie off the ground for years. Since the game first came out. Who was it? It wasn't James Cameron. Who was trying to do a BioShock movie a long time ago?
BioShock. I know about Borderlands, but BioShock.
It was he did Mad Max.
Movie. We are getting a movie though for Netflix, I think.
George Miller. I think it was George Miller that was trying to do a Bioshock movie for years.
No, wait. Bioshock has long been a target for Hollywood adaptation. Soon after the launch of the first game, Pirates of the Caribbean director Gore Verbinski was attached to a live-action movie. According to the Hollywood Reporter, the director's planned budget and an R rating put the project on indefinite hold until eventually plans were shelved.
Yeah.
So it is coming to Netflix. Yeah. I think that could be a hit if it's done right. Netflix needs to do a Dino Crisis animated series. No. Capcom needs to work on a new game for Dino Crisis. Am I frozen? Is it me or is it Lou? One of us is frozen. Let me know, chat. Let me know. Yeah, so this was Lou is frozen. Okay, perfect. Because you never know. Because when here's the thing, whenever somebody's frozen, you don't really know it. I can keep talking and it looks fine, and then I realize, oh, I'm the one that's frozen. So I was like, is it me? Is it him? What the hell? What's happening?
My whole shit just crashed. I don't know what just happened. My computer just restarted and everything. But yeah, they've been trying to get a Bioshock movie off the ground for about 15 years, something like that. And it's always the same deal where originally he wanted to do, I think it was like over 100 million he was asking for, or something some fucking number that was crazy like that for an R-rated movie. And the studio was like, we are not giving you that much for an R-rated movie based on a video game property that is kind of obscure outside of video game fans. Yep. It's just not happening.
But now, I'm not 100% confident in Netflix, but I'm interested to see what they do with it.
This needed to go to HBO.
I agree.
This needed to go to an FX, HBO, literally almost Amazon even, with seeing how they did with The Boys. Literally almost anybody else other than Netflix. They're not going to – there's just no way they're going to get this right. I'm sorry. They're just – it's just not happening.
Last but not least, I'm not going to go too into spoilers because Lou hasn't seen it, but I do want to touch on Obi-Wan, which I know a lot of people tune in tonight to hear our thoughts on it. I'm up to date. I literally watched it a couple hours ago, part 5 of the 6-part series, limited series. I know a lot of people really enjoyed episode 3 for the cool stuff that happens there, but this was my favorite episode because it has my favorite trope in books and movies and anime and manga and all that stuff, which is that last-ditch effort to survive. Your back's against the wall and you're hunkered down in this spot, like Helm's Deep situation, for example. And in this case, the Empire found Kenobi and gang and their hideout, and they have they need to escape, and they hack the doors, and it's like, I can get the door open in 4 hours, and Obi-Wan's like, you got to open it in 1 because the friggin' Empire is going to get us, including Mr. Vader. And Darth Vader pulls off some of the most badass things I've ever seen for a Sith Lord in a Star Wars live action property. He just toyed in this whole entire episode. I'm being super vague about this, just in case you guys haven't seen it. But I love, like I mentioned earlier, I love the transition between the prequel, this show and the original trilogy. It's slowly blending in to the original trilogy. You see that with the stormtroopers and even the sound effects when there's a gunfight in this one. It just sounds like the original trilogy. You get some Vader's was bonkers. Dude, this was so amazing. It was literally like playing a freaking Star Wars video game. And all the moves you see Vader pull off in games, you're like, damn, that's badass. You kind of get that in this episode. It was really cool. You get some flashbacks to episode 2 era with Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor. And I was impressed that they de-aged them just a little bit with their makeup and digital effects, so they would look 20 years younger. So that was a lot of fun, and overall, I've just really been enjoying the series. Great to see all these characters back, especially Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan. He really owns that role.
Yeah, I think what's becoming so in all the appearances now that we've seen of Vader and the DC. Wow, I'm tired, guys. Sorry.
It's all right.
In the new Disney kind of Marvel, the new Disney Star Wars canon,
Yeah.
It's becoming more apparent. And again, I haven't seen these new episodes. I've only seen the first 2.
Yeah.
It's becoming more apparent when Vader faced off against Luke both times. He's holding back,
Mm-hmm.
and that's something that now is more canon and more widely accepted. He's holding back because he's aware it's his son, and had he not been holding back, it would have been a quick fight both times.
Super OP.
Yeah.
Oh, look, we got bots. Yay. Hold on.
Thanks, guys.
I mentioned bots, and they're like, well, we're here.
So it's becoming more apparent. And now I was about to write this series off and be like, well, maybe I'll catch it off later. But everybody's enthusiasm is like, no, you need to catch up right away. And you need to watch these next few episodes.
With your sound system and setup, watch episode 3. You're going to fall in love with the show, and you're going to want to watch everything.
Okay.
Trust me. Because with my dinky setup, I don't have the best audio equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Even I was like, man, I'm getting goosebumps with the sound design and the choreography in episode 3. It was amazing. And this new one, where's the comment? Vader just goes full on Force Unleashed, like the video game. It was that good.
Cool. I'll check it out.
So I'm really excited for the final one because I think we're going to get, like, they're saving the best for last, which is what I thought as soon as I watched episode 1.
Yeah. Star Wars for me, for whatever reason, it's that, and I did this with Mando. I've done it with all the Star Wars stuff. Maybe it's just a mental thing where I'll let 3 or 4 episodes pile up, and then I'll just binge it in one afternoon, and I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Versus something like The Boys, where I wake up Friday morning and the first thing I watch is the new episode of The Boys. Or this morning I woke up and I was like, oh yeah, there's a new Miss Marvel episode. I enjoyed that last week. I'm going to check that out this week, and I watched that.
Did you like the new episode for Miss Marvel?
I did.
I watched the first one, but I haven't seen today's show.
I did, and I don't get Marvel's aversion to the Inhumans. They almost say Inhumans in this episode. They fill you in more on what the gauntlet, the bracelet thing is that she's got, and one of the actors mentions and says, well, the power really doesn't come from the bracelet necessarily. It's more it woke something up inside of you. And I'm like, okay, so she's an Inhuman, right? Just say it or hint at it or give us something about that.
It goes back to what I mentioned last week or this week. I don't know. The days are a blur. Where I didn't need an introduction to the Inhumans. I just wanted her to be an Inhuman.
Yeah.
But I watched the first episode. It's fine. The acting is great, and the main lead, she's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
However, a lot of stuff sprinkled throughout, I just found a little bit cringy for me. But I do recognize that it's a fun show, and maybe it's just one of those things where it's not exactly. It's not going to be a home run every single time for me, I guess. But it's cool. I'm not in a super rush to watch it or anything, but it's cool.
Yeah, I'm sticking with it. I'm sticking with it. I'm going to finish out the season. It's just the little stuff like that where I don't get what the risk aversion of Marvel is right now of not saying Inhuman. You literally had the head of the Inhumans in your last film it might have been a different variant of him, but why not just acknowledge Kamala Khan as an Inhuman? They dropped that line in there kind of to say, okay, she didn't get her powers necessarily from that bracelet or whatever it is that she's got. She already had it, so it's like, go the extra mile, guys.
Raphael, don't do that to me. I can see Geo's rage when Feige confirms in the future that the bracelet activates the X gene and Miss Marvel is the first mutant in the MCU. I'm out. Like, not later. Cheese, the period between the prequel trilogy and the original trilogy of Star Wars is the era most open to interesting stories. Yeah. I agree.
You know what? You know what I noticed the other night, because my wife has been, for whatever reason, in a kick of watching Spider-Man movies lately.
Yeah,
we watched. God, these fucking home movies always get twisted up in my brain. We watched No Way Home was the last one, right? No Way Home.
No Way Home.
Homecoming,
Yes.
Far From Home. No Way Home. Right.
Yeah.
No Way Home. And Norman Osborn says, "There's no Oscorp here. There's no Osborn here." So I'm like,
That was interesting.
It's a throwaway line. He just says in the movie, he said that he went to look for his office, and he's like, "There's no Oscorp here." I'm like, so does that mean Norman Osborn technically doesn't exist in this universe? Or they're not going to go that route with it? I don't know.
I think they should go that route, and I think they should adapt Harry and Peter a little bit better than what we saw in the original trilogy. I would like to see that relationship again.
Yeah.
Of Harry Osborn. Maybe in the next movie, he's a rising entrepreneur, Norman Osborn, and he's starting up the business. Speaking of Spider-Man, did you hear about the news that we're getting a director's cut in theaters?
I saw that. Yeah, I heard about that.
The more fun stuff edition or something stupid like that.
It's just something dumb like that. Yeah.
I think it's just a ploy to get more money for the box office revenue.
Mm-hmm. They want to hit that $2 billion mark. Yeah, they want to hit $2 billion, and they're really close to it, so they're going to put it back in. Man.
Avatar does this like every freaking 5 years, so why not Spider-Man?
Yeah, and they're probably going to re-release Avatar one more time right before the movie. You're going to get
super edition, the super duper cut.
Dude, you're gonna get that re-release of Avatar again right before the new movie comes out. You're gonna have those theaters that are showing watch Avatar and Avatar 2 back to back because they do that stuff. You're gonna get that. Man, have you seen? Oh my God, some of the shit that's been unfolding with Ezra Miller, how he's been posting memes on his Instagram page saying like "you won't catch me" and stuff. Dude is like on some Joker shit lately.
Joker brain. Oh my God.
It is the weirdest shit, man. He deleted his Instagram, but for a while he was taunting, saying, "Oh, you won't catch me. I'm like in another dimension." He is wow.
He's wild, and it's a little sad. It's a shame that a young actor is going through that and causing more harm than good.
Oh my God, dude.
I hope nothing bad happens.
I'm really afraid of how this is gonna end up because this can go one of a few different ways, and I'm hoping it ends in a good way. Because my mind is this is not gonna end well, but.
Damn it! Avatar's already coming before December remastered.
I knew it.
We didn't need that, James Cameron, not James Abel. James Cameron. We didn't need that. We're getting it anyways.
Real quick before we get out of here, we touched on it briefly on Monday. Are they going to shelve the Flash?
I think it's gonna.
I don't know.
They're gonna show it.
I don't know, man.
They're gonna show it, and then they're gonna find a way to get that character off screen.
I don't know, brother.
It's a big production. I think I don't think he'll be back in the role. Honestly,
no.
But you have to. You can't. Or maybe they sit on it for a little bit, but I would release it anyways.
Do you would you be WB and you do the reshoot and you just bite the bullet and pay and delay for a year and just reshoot all his stuff?
I don't think it's worth spending double to do that, because it's not like
It's not a minor
it's not
character.
it's not a guaranteed $1 billion movie.
Yeah.
Because we've never had a Flash movie, right? We've never had a Flash movie, because the one from the '90s was a TV show, and then the CW show. So yeah, it's not a guaranteed. I mean, the character is famous and everybody loves the Flash, the different versions of it, but I don't know. It's not. I don't think it's. Oh, look, the thing is back.
Yeah. Somebody will catch it in that.
Okay, block.
So do you delay for a year? And
I would put it out and change, do something to get Wally involved and move the franchise towards that,
yeah,
and just never acknowledge that version of Barry Allen.
yeah, no, I think that's going forward. Or you have Grant Gustin. Maybe Grant Gustin will want to do it. I mean, he's been doing the Flash for
Hot take. I kind of don't want to see that.
really.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of that show.
Not a fan, huh? Okay.
Don't. Everybody stay quiet. Don't let Kenny know, because he's going to be upset at me. He's a huge fan of that show, and I like Kenny. I love you, brother, but I'm not a fan of anything of the CW. Sorry.
James, you could do the press tour. You can. The thing is with press tours is that they're so controlled as far as what questions you can and can't ask these actors.
They're just going to get Michael Keaton on Hot Ones so he can eat the spicy wings.
You know, you could totally do the press tour, but you could do the press tour with the agreement that the studio will talk to whoever's doing the questions and stuff like that. No, you can't bring up Ezra Miller. You can't bring up everything that's going on with him.
Yeah.
That's probably what's going to happen if they decide to go that route. Or they just drop it on HBO Max and say, well, fuck it, whatever.
There you go. Also, I don't know what I was going to say. Never mind. That's it. Right? You got anything else? Okay. Well, thank you to our sponsor. That's InStockTrades.com, your home for all things collected editions, whether it be an omnibus, trade paperback. If you want Flash comic books, you get them at InStock Trades. If you want Star Wars books, you get them at InStock Trades. If you want manga, based off the topic we talked about earlier, you get it at InStockTrades.com. Daily deals range from 48 to 50% off. New books every week. Loyalty discount X on an extra 2% to that. Sorry. Fantastic customer service and wonderful packaging at InStockTrades.com, the official sponsor of Omnibros Live here on the Omnibus Collectors Network. And let me remind you guys that in 2 weeks' time, on the final Monday of the month, we're going to be doing a gift card giveaway valued at $50, open to anywhere in the world. Just be sure to log in that night to our show, and you can participate and see if you can win a gift card courtesy of InStock Trades. Can I buy books about Ezra Miller and Ice-T? No, not that I'm aware of, but you can buy books about the Flash. Night, take care, good night. I'm shocked I liked one season, and then I started watching the second one, and I'm like, nah, I'm good. There was a moment in the freaking show where everybody knew who Barry Allen was.
Yeah.
And then he falls in love with, was it Patty from the New 52 or whatever her name was? And he's like, I can't show her my real face and identity. I'm like, bitch, literally half the cast of this damn show knows who you are. Get out of here with that nonsense. And then it got super cheesy and the CGI stuff. Nah, I'm good. I only like the first season with Reverse Flash. I don't know. I'm kind of excited for the movie though, because you get Zod is going to be in the movie, Supergirl, Keaton Batman. And I want to see what they do with the Flash stuff with their version of Flashpoint, even though, it is what it is with the main actor.
Yeah.
All right, everybody's kicking us off. They're all saying good night.
Not everybody.
Good night, everybody. Next Imaginaut, hold that thought for next time because we're out of here. Sorry, buddy. I appreciate you tuning in. It's just I'm running on fumes tonight. Sorry, guys.
Love you, big guy.
Let me put this thing. Thanks for watching. Sorry that the Obi-Wan review wasn't too in depth like other channels, but it is what it is. That's our style.
There you
go. Here, chat, you can answer this question. There it is. And there's the second part. But ask us again in the next stream, and I promise I'll get to it. Sorry about that, buddy. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to our sponsor. Thank you to all the people in the chat. You guys are wonderful. And if you're watching this later, let us know what you thought of the topics. Leave a comment down below.